Waka waka waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch review. And we are going to get on with Eaglemoss today as we're going to take a look at, it's been a while since we've done a Nebula class ship, and I figured since we still got two more sisters to go, we are going to take a look at, yes, another variation of the Nebula class, this one being the U.S.S. Phoenix, I believe as seen in the episode The Wounded in season 4 of Star Trek The Next Generation. So yeah, and we're gonna get this on the table. This is sort of the what do they call it, the AWACS, as I like to call it. It has the nice sensor dome on the back, so we're gonna be taking a look at this ship today. Of course, no box as usual. This came in a standard Eaglemoss box, as many of the other ships did of the time. They all look the same. There's nothing to differentiate it. They let the product sell itself, so we're not even gonna take a look at the box. So let's get right on with the rest of the review. And of course, every review that we start on means that we always start with the magazine. And yeah, we're going back to the big boys today. We did the Discovery ship last time where they scaled them down, but this time we're going to take a look at the magazine. It is the U.S.S. Phoenix NCC 65420. It is a Nebula class launched in the 2360s at a length of 465 meters, maximum speed of warp 9.5. Of course, as we said about the Nebula class before, it is basically a kit bash ship. You have a Galaxy class saucer. They took the nacelles and flipped them with the pylons upside down, and then they took away the neck, and there you go. Table of contents: U.S.S. Phoenix, NCC 65420, production design season 4, the Next Generation 4th season, and on screen. And then of course we have our stand instructions. We'll go over the stand as well, and then we have a nice front orthographic view along with the Nebula class. It is a constructed in 40 Randani Starfleet yards, 2360s and the 465 meters with a crew of 750, warp 9.5, phaser emitters, photon torpedoes, and Captain Benjamin Maxwell. And there we have a nice shot of the Phoenix, just kind of testament how big these ships are. And of course, USS Phoenix in 2367, Captain Maxwell of the USS Phoenix went rogue and led his ship on several attacks against the Cardassians. There we have a screenshot from, I believe the episode was called The Wounded. Captain Maxwell just happened to have enough, and of course the Cardassians up to no good, as they usually are. Got some nice shots from the Next Generation. Moving on one of my favorite pages of these magazines that I never really read, the orthographic views of the ship, looking really, really good. Again, for a ship we only really see in one episode. I absolutely love. Again, we see them for ships that don't even get 5 minutes of screen time, so it's great. And then, of course, a lot of information on the 4th season. Got a mark. Hey, look, it's a Gul Dukats, except as another Gul. Mark Alemo playing the signature Cardassian. And then, of course, we got a shot from the episode Night Terrors. One of my favorite episodes, believe it or not. I know it kind of had a silly ending, but I generally love the whole scary aspect of it and the whole premise of the episode. There we go. And then, of course, we got some more shots from season 4 of Star Trek The Next Generation. Geordi at the hands of the Romulans. And then, of course, we got Sheila, Yar, or Selah. And then, of course, we have some Deep Space Nine shots, and then, of course, another shot from The Wounded. Yeah, it is from The Wounded. There it is. So, and then we have, of course, the typical Eaglemoss ads on back, and then, of course, a nice upper orthographic view of the Phoenix. And there we go. And as usual, our stand instructions, they are pretty much the same as they always are. You got the peg right here. You have the little peg for the hole. You just put that in there like that. And then we take our ship, and you can see it fits nicely around the back just like that. And yeah, it's overall pretty stable, and you get the Phoenix in a nice kind of climbing pose. I really like that. So yeah, and there we go, and that is it for the stand. And let's get a look at this beauty of a ship. So straight away, just kind of a Eaglemoss issue. So the sensor dome should actually be more in line with the saucer, like parallel to the saucer. You can see that it is not, and oh, this wants to disassemble itself. It's just a slot in the bottom. You just push it in, so it does friction in there. So sometimes it does loosen itself up. But yeah, you can see the center dome kind of tilted forward. Not too big of a deal. Looks pretty well in line otherwise. Looks really good. Maybe a little cocked to the side, but overall the rest of the detail is standard. You know, that's the beauty of kit bashing ships, is that you know, they just reuse saucers from other ships, so the detail looks really good. Got a lot of nice window detailing around the edges of the saucer, all the nice escape pods that are protruding from the top, all looking really good. U.S.S. Phoenix NCC 65420 and that awesome Federation text, and doesn't look like any real window misalignments. Of course, there are no indents for the windows, at least not on this model. I don't have the Nebula XL. I did not, unfortunately, did not buy that because it was one that I really wanted. But, you know, I'm like many, I just assumed Eaglemoss would be around forever. Then, of course, you have the typical Galaxy top protruding, and then the bridge dome protruding. Then you got the shuttle bay right back here. And I've always kind of wondered, I mean, this one doesn't look too bad, but the shuttle bays, you know, especially with some of the other Nebula class, the shuttle bay opens and, oh, look, there's a pair of nacelles right staring you in the face. But other than that, bring it around to the bottom, and yeah, you can see nacelle alignment really good. Nacelle alignment is on point. That looks absolutely beautiful. I love that look on the bottom. Deflector peeked out in a nice light blue with a gold center for the saucer, looking awesome. Moving to the bottom of the star drive section, you got the Federation emblem, 3 Federation emblems all along the side. The nacelles, of course, with a nice red transparent plastic for the Bassard collectors, and the warp coils in a blue transparent plastic. Typical standard for the Galaxy class models and all the various ships of that style. From Eaglemoss. Then, of course, again, more escape pod detailing, window detailing. Got some indents right down here. Looks really good, and looks like a phaser strip right here. The rest Galaxy class as usual. No indication of the ship. Tons of escape pods on the bottom. This is just like light up. You can escape the ship any way you want. Nice phaser strip around the side, and you got some indents for the 10 forward area, and then a few other areas, probably hydroponics bays and whatnot. And then, of course, you have the captain's yacht peeked out right down here. Looks really good overall. Feels really sturdy. The saucer, I do believe, is die cast, so it's got a nice weighty feel since the saucer is the majority of the ship. And then, of course, you got the sensor dome, nice Federation symbol. Again, nice Aztecing all throughout. Really gives the gray some kind of depth. I mean, it is kind of a, you know, the bland Federation color palette, but, you know, they use that Aztecing in there that kind of divvies up everything, gives you something really exciting to look at. So everything feels very well done. I mean, save for the ship plugging into the bottom, it's a very sturdy model. So definitely a really good looking model. And for a couple quick comparisons, let's just get the her sisters in there, the U.S.S. Melbourne and the U.S.S. Honshu. Of course, we'll do the Honshu at some point because they all are a little bit different. We've already done the Melbourne. You just kind of see them all together. You just kind of see the resemblance. I mean, they look really good together. As you've seen in my display, I do have these displayed all together. Again, I just love how they kind of show the lineage of the ship and everything. So it looks really good. And then we'll move these off to the side. One more comparison, we'll get the U.S.S. Enterprise, the standard size U.S.S. Enterprise in there, so you can kind of see how this works out. And I'll take them off the stand real quick so we can kind of get, you know, get a side by side going, you know what I'm saying? And there you go, the side by side. Get my fingers out of the way just like that. So yeah, and there you go. And then we could kind of get a look from the top just like that. And again, that looks really good. I love the absolute lineage between the two. I mean, again, you know, you really find a cohesiveness between the Federation designs in this era. So it looks really good. So let's summarize, and there it is for the Eaglemoss official Starships Collection U.S.S. Phoenix Nebula class variant. And yeah, you know, again, nothing really out of the ordinary here. That's kind of the good thing about kit bash ships. But on the same token, you know, there's a lot to love because you're getting a lot of that detail that you already see in the rest of the Nebula class variants, as well as the Galaxy class variants. So again, you're getting, you know, that you're getting a solid, good model. The feel is really good. I love the coloration, the use of materials with the transparent plastic of the cells, deflector, beautifully painted. I mean, just overall nicely detailed. If I had to nitpick, again, it's just with the center dome on the back being a little tilted, but you know, I don't notice it from 5 feet away, so it doesn't bug me. Nacelle alignment is on point, which I wish I could say the same thing for the Melbourne, because I do like the Melbourne. The Melbourne is my favorite of these 3 variants. But yeah, and as far as a recommendation goes, absolutely. If you can find this model, it'll look great, fit right in with your that was me attempting to give a thumbs up. It'll fit right in with the rest of your TNG ships, and you can just make the shelf pop. Looks really, really good. And that being said, as far as finding this model, I am not sure. I did not see it on realmerch.com when I looked earlier today, and unfortunately I don't see it. I think I saw any of the Nebula class variants. If you can find it on eBay for a decent price, try and get it for that. I wouldn't overpay. They sold this model for about $30, $25-$30 or so off of the Eaglemoss site. So again, if you get close to that, I wouldn't pay any more for it, unless you really, really like the Nebula class, to which who can put a value on what the heart wants. And that being said, that does conclude this review. So if you found this review informative and fun, please give it a like. Also consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. We're almost at 300, and that would be just awesome if we could hit that. And that being said, that does conclude this review. So thank you so much for watching. Live long and prosper.